On Saturday, Donald Trump traveled to Arizona for a star-studded rally. The MyPillow guy was there. All kinds of conservative politicians, including those who forced the ballot audit in Arizona, they were up on stage with him. And nobody seemed to care. The Washington Post didn't even mention Donald Trump's rally. New York Times only mentioned it briefly in passing. And beyond that, the media just didn't think it was a newsworthy event. And to be honest, it really wasn't a newsworthy event. So you may be asking yourself, why are we even bothering to talk about this 3 days after the fact? Well, because it was not a newsworthy event for a guy who for years and years and years could go anywhere, speak to anyone, and it would receive wall-to-wall coverage across every single major media outlet in this country. And here he is, not just him, but all of his guests, and nobody cared. That is the story. The story is the fact that nobody cared enough to do a story about it. And here's why that is a problem for Donald Trump. Donald Trump still believes that he is not just the most popular politician in the United States, but the most popular human being. He thrives off of the attention that the media gives him when he does these rallies. I mean, that is the big driving force as to why he continues to do these rallies. So when people stop paying attention, when the media is not reporting on anything he says, because it's neither shocking nor new, that does present a very big problem for Donald Trump if, of course, he wants to continue with this charade of pretending he's not running for president again in 2024. Let me put it this way. This is from conservative Daily Beast author Matt Lewis. Here's what he said. Trump's rock concert rallies provide enough of his greatest hits for the fans and groupies who actually attend them. But for performers to remain relevant, they require new material. And politics is more stand-up comedy than rock and roll. Trump seems like the sort of man who could appreciate the temporal, consumerist, and disposable culture of modernity. We fetishize what is new and what is next. Yet, Trump's obsession with relitigating an election that is now 2 calendar years past runs contrary to this modern American tendency. In this regard, his ego trumps his marketing savvy. And that is what we're seeing here. You know, I've been saying this since the results of the 2020 election came out, even before the big lie. Donald Trump is never going to let that election go until he's no longer capable of speaking in front of other people. This is what he is going to continue to say. If the man runs for president again in 2024, this is going to be the big talking point. He's going to run again because he feels he is now owed the presidency because he has gaslit himself to believe that the 2020 election was in fact somehow stolen from him. Now, we know that it wasn't. We know the truth. But this man, who, again, at one point did know that what he was saying is a lie, no longer thinks it's a lie. So we will, for all of eternity, it seems, have to listen to Donald Trump continue to play his greatest hits of the 2020 election being stolen, while every other Republican politician has moved on and they're working on recruiting new people. If Trump cannot do that, then no matter what he decides for 2024, he's not going to have any chance of winning that election. One of today's video sponsors is Magic Spoon cereal. If your New Year's resolution is to start eating healthier without having to sacrifice any taste, then Magic Spoon is perfect for you. They have the wonderful flavors that you've enjoyed since you were a child, but without any of the guilt. Magic Spoon has 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. And there's only 140 calories per serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And you can build your own box. Available flavors to build your very own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle. You can also mix and match the flavors when they arrive. I'm a big fan of actually mixing the cocoa with the frosted flavors because it tastes just like a chocolate cake, so it makes for a great late night snack. Go to magicspoon.com/ROF to grab a custom bundle of cereal and start your new year off right. And be sure to use our promo code ROF at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/ROF and use the code ROF to save $5.